Hi, my name is Jimmy Williams with NFL Draft Diamonds. And here with me today, I have really one of the top FCS prospects at safety this year. His name is Brent Jackson. He's a safety out of Rhode Island, previously out of Bucknell University. So nice to meet you, sir.
Nice to meet you as well. Thank you for having me.
So yeah, really well established career there at Bucknell. This past season, awesome season. Over 100 tackles, 4 interceptions, tons of pass deflections and such. And you went on to take that and graduate transfer to URI. But before we get talking about anything else, let's start from the beginning. Why don't you tell me a little bit about where you're from, and we'll just kind of walk through things from there.
Yeah. So originally I'm from Dallas, Texas, born and raised there, spent my entire life there. And then, once high school got around and the college recruiting process started up, out of the offers I had coming out of high school, I felt that Bucknell was the best spot for me. And so then I ended up going up there, receive a great education, play Division One football, and get a change of scenery and get away from home a little bit. So spent 4 years there. But then, as you all know, COVID hit there in 2020 in my sophomore year. That changed everything, and that provided me with an extra year of eligibility. And so, at the end of my senior season, I decided to enter the transfer portal, and that ultimately got me to where I am today here at University of Rhode Island. Played this last year out.
Interesting. So, you you played your high school ball in Denton, Texas, at Geyer High School, and so obviously a long ways away from where Bucknell is. But let's kind of first talk about your time there in high school. Any memories that maybe perhaps you can share about your time in high school there?
Yeah, so my time in high school, it was a lot of fun, a lot of good memories, few bad ones as well. Sadly, during my 2 years on varsity, that I will say we had down years, I guess, for the school. Geyer is I think it's safe to say, powerhouse. Makes the state championship pretty often, and so my 2 years there, though, we had young team, not a lot of great quarterbacks and stuff like that. But I will say one of my favorite memories was my senior year. Though we lost, it was probably one of the most fun I had, the most amount of fun I've had in the game. It was against South Lake Carroll, and I'm not sure if you're familiar with high school powerhouses, but South Lake Carroll is one of those. And it was, regular season game at South Lake Carroll. They've only lost there, I think, maybe like 4 times in like 20 years. We had them on the ropes. It was basically a playoff atmosphere, and it basically went down to the wire. They ended up scoring on a double pass to seal the game, and though it was a unfortunate memory, we lost and stuff, but it was just very memorable because I joke with the other safety to this day, about like him missing the call and stuff, and it was just overall just a great experience in terms of just the amount of fun I had because just the intensity and the energy that was going on throughout the entire game.
Well, I mean, I'm sure you've been playing this game for a long time, and obviously, you had your ups and downs there in high school, but you eventually really established yourself well in college there at Bucknell. How long have you been playing this game, by the way?
So I originally started playing football in around fifth grade. I know it seems like I'm a little bit of a late bloomer to the party, but I started, I guess, rather late in my opinion.
Well, fifth grade is not so bad. I mean, I feel like you still have a lot of great experience. Again, like I had mentioned, a lot of great stats there your final year at Bucknell. And then that kind of puts you in a position, man, puts you in a position where you could come out and you can go pro, or you could put your name in the transfer portal and see what happens. So, why don't you walk me through that a bit for you?
Yeah, so as I guess my season was going along, I was kind of noticing myself like, okay, I'm having a pretty good year, and people were talking, interest was coming around, but I felt like if I made that chance to go pro right after senior year at Bucknell, I feel like people maybe try to discredit, the league I was playing in, the competition I was going against. So I guess maybe help try to solidify my talents as a prospect. I wanted to play in a more competitive league. No disrespect to the Patriot League, but if if you're to rank the different FCS leagues, even FBS leagues out there. I don't think the Patriot League is up there. So ultimately, that's another reason why I made the decision to come to Rhode Island to play in the CAA. I feel like from top to bottom, it is the most competitive conference out there. You're looking at different powerhouses. Like they had 5 playoff teams last year. You got like William and Mary, Richmond, New Hampshire, Delaware, things like that. So I felt like that was also a major component into making my decision to ultimately come play here.
Yeah, I mean, Patriot League does have some good teams and good athletes in that conference. Let's give them their just due, I suppose. Obviously you came out of there, so I mean something good got to come out of there, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so you took that last season and decided to use it to your advantage, put your name in the portal, which I'm sure you had a handful of offers, and then eventually decided to go with URI.
Mhm.
And like you said, CAA is legit. There is a ton of great teams in there. If you've never watched FCS ball, probably one of, if not the most competitive conference. I mean, each and every year, I swear, any team in that conference can come out with the championship. So hopefully that's going to be like that for you guys this upcoming year. Let's talk about your own experience, if you don't mind, as a safety. Obviously, right now, just kind of reflecting back on your time at Bucknell, what's your experience level as a safety? Can you kind of give me an idea of what you're used to playing, whether it's in the box, single high, or just kind of how you were utilized there at Bucknell?
So over my time, at Bucknell over the past 4 years, I had a lot of versatility in terms of the different defenses I was playing and the different types of like positions at safety I was playing. Because in my time there, we actually had three different defensive coordinators. So a lot of change, a lot of
Mm,
defenses, different schemes. And so my freshman year came in, I was basically playing to the boundary, playing free safety. Then sophomore year, I was still going free, some strong, just trying to get me on the field, whatever it was. And then my junior year, new defensive coordinator. So then he changed the defense up. And so then I was playing sometimes more of like sometimes I'll be to the boundary, went right and left with the safety. So sometimes I'll be to the boundary, sometimes I'll be to the field, sometimes I will be more of like I guess like a Sam backer in some situations, depending on the formations.
interesting.
My senior year, I was strictly, a free safety to the boundary. And like with that, I played all different types of schemes, one high, two high, played a lot of quarters coverage over my time. I feel like that's the one thing that was pretty consistent, though I had different piece of coordinators, played a lot of quarters. But I guess what my time at safety, I just played a lot of positions and, even sometimes like in third down packages, I'm a backer, I'm blitzing off the edge or something. So I feel like that honestly helped my game, just providing me with a lot of versatility to be able to line up at different positions on the field.
Yeah, I mean, a guy who can do a whole bunch of things, like you had mentioned. I mean, line up in like five different positions or something. Could do a whole bunch for defense there. So also something to highlight is the fact that you were a team captain there at Bucknell. And so my question in regards to that is what kind of a leader are you? I mean, can you kind of elaborate a little bit about that for you, what it means to be a captain and what you bring to the table as a leader?
Mhm. So I say, first off, it was just an honor to be, a captain elected by my teammates. It really means a lot because, as I've been on multiple teams, the people you vote at captain, the people like, hey, I think they do a great job embodying the program, and they're the person that, I want to follow in the battle. That's the way I looked at it when he was growing up. And so it really meant a lot to have my teammates vote for me and elect me as captain. And being a captain for me, it was more of, okay, you can earn people's respect, I feel like one or two ways, either like your work ethic or your on field production. That's kind of the way I look at it. And so I was like, okay, before I even get to the on field production, like I felt like being a captain just started like freshman year. It was like, okay, I need to earn respect of my teammates. What's the easiest way to do this? Work ethic. And so just be having that mentality of, first in, last out, showing up to workouts early, giving great intensity, being in the front during conditioning, things like that, earning people's respect through my work ethic. And then ultimately, as like the playing time came along, I was able to make those on the field plays and things like that. And that's what ultimately helped me become elected as captain. And I feel like as a leader, I lead by example. That's the only way I know how to. And I feel like I make sure that I'm doing everything that I expect out of my teammates, if that makes sense, you know. And so that's kind of the image I have in my head of being a leader, and that's kind of how my leadership style is.
Cool. Well, Brent, obviously, I'm talking to you from the framework of a pro prospect. I mean, at least from my perspective, I feel like you're going to get some looks in the NFL after this upcoming season is over with. So, definitely some going to be some exciting times, once that happens for you. But when you look at yourself as a prospect, as one of these guys who I personally see as one of the best safeties in all of the FCS, what do you feel separates you from the other guy? Is it that work ethic, that versatility that we talked about, or is it something else?
I probably have to say those two things you mentioned right there. My work ethic, I believe that, from a young age, I've just had this sense of had this sense of a strong work ethic instilled in me. And then paired with, my versatility in terms of, my tackling ability, my coverage ability, and just being able to line up and play different positions on the field makes me a prime candidate for the draft next year.
Awesome, awesome. So, again, we got one more season left of your collegiate career there at URI. So, we'll see how everything happens there. But let's reflect a little bit more at your time at Bucknell. When you think about some of the great games that you were a part of, can you maybe share one of your favorite moments, whether it be a game or even like a specific play?
So I guess I can answer both of those. So for Pacific game, I have to go this past year. It was against Georgetown. We were at Georgetown, and it was what, second to last game of the season, away game, and ended up going into overtime. I had a pick early in the game. I was feeling really good. And then it basically was, third and long. They got our offense. I mean, excuse me, our offense had went out, kicked the field goal. So their offense had the ball, it's third and long, and OT, and ended up running a play. We knew what the play was, seen it coming, and then like one of my roommates, Gab, the corner, picked the ball off. We told him to go down, go down, go down. So he's trying to run it back. He went down. Our team's like something that something out of a movie. Couldn't have drawn up any better. Like I know it was just another Patriot League game, but it felt like to me and my teammates felt like we just won a championship or something. So it was an overall great feeling for me. And then I guess my most memorable play will probably be the pick I had this year from Lehigh. It's my second pick of the year. I don't know. It felt like it was just a really cool pick. I was starting on the backside hash and ended up picking it off on the opposite sideline. So that was just overall a great memory for me as well.
Cool. So, as we are looking into this upcoming season, what are your personal goals? I mean, obviously, a lot of the usual stuff, but I just kind of want to hear it from you.
Yeah, so I always try to, I guess my me personally, it might seem cocky, egotistical or something, but my personal goal is just try to be the best in the nation. That's my own personal goal. Wake up every day. I feel like that's the reason. Not that's part of the reason why I do this. I don't strive to just be an average safety. Like I want to prove to everybody like I'm best in the nation. That's the mentality I approach the game with each and every day. And so that's I guess my own personal goal. Just be the best safety in the nation. And then with that, with the team though, I want to be on a successful team, a winning team. No discredit to Bucknell, but in my time there, we didn't have the greatest seasons in terms of win and loss records. So just be a part of a winning program and ultimately just again go compete to try to be the best in the nation. That's the ultimate goal I have.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of great talent there at URI, and so I mean, I feel like with the addition of guys like yourself, you guys are going to put yourself in contention for a conference title,
Hmm.
and hopefully you guys get to the playoffs, and we'll see. Whenever you get there, it's all about who's got the will to win, and we'll see how it all plays out. But definitely looking forward to you guys this upcoming season. All right. Um, do want to kind of take some time to talk about who this Brent Jackson guy is outside of the game. So,
Yeah.
why don't you give me something about you that you might find interesting, whether it be your hobbies, your interests, or anything else. So, give us a little something.
Yeah. So I say a unique part about me and my upbringing. I guess, is that back home, my dad's side of the family, my dad grew up in a small farm town about an hour south of Dallas. So I guess I have a little bit of like farmer country work ethic kind of instilled in me. Every time I go home, I go visit my dad down at the farm. We're feeding cows. Cutting hay, cutting down trees, doing things like that. So a bit of a different type of lifestyle and culture than up here at Rhode Island. But I feel like that's something that kind of makes me unique and kind of it's a little chip on my shoulder. I feel like something that sets me apart from everyone else.
Interesting to think that this guy in front of us is kind of a country guy. Um, I don't know, that kind of sounds a little unexpected, really. Um, that being said, I want to throw this your way just for fun, just a couple of questions, right? Kind of like a quick question answer type thing. So,
Mhm.
um, I want to say if it's karaoke night and you got to sing one song in front of like the whole crowd, what's that going to be for you, man? I mean, is it going to be a country song because that's where you're from, or is it going to be something else?
I won't say it would be a country song or something like that, but that's a. I've never thought about this. I've never been a big karaoke guy. I do love music though. Ooh,
But I'm putting you on the spot, so you got
yeah.
to pick something.
Okay, so I guess I'll go with. Oh wow, I don't even know. Let's go with Sunflower. That's been a classic of mine. I really like the song since it came out. I'm a big Marvel fan, so let's go with Sunflower by Post Malone and Sway Lee.
All right, all right. You said Marvel fan,
Hmm.
like movie wise.
Yes.
So who's your favorite superhero?
Mm. Gotta go Iron Man. Yeah, without a
Iron
doubt.
Man.
Yes.
Okay. Um, couple of more. Interestingly enough, I always get some things here, but uh, favorite type of food, Mexican, Italian, or other. What is that for you?
I'd probably go say Italian. I'm a big fan of pasta, baked ziti, like Alfredo, stuff like that. Like that's right down my alley. So big Italian fan.
Okay. Do you have any pets? I mean, or any pet that you would like to have?
No pets right now. Grew up with dogs. Both of them passed away, sadly. But I do want a puppy. That's something I really want right now. Honestly, it's just like puppy to bring up, grow up with me in the sense that like I don't know. I see a lot of my friends and teammates getting them and stuff, and I'm just like, man, I kind of want one for myself now. So maybe once I get out of here at Rhode Island, that might be something I invest in.
Awesome. If you could choose one celebrity that you would like to meet, whether that be a sports figure or otherwise, any celebrity, I'm gonna say, hey Brent, you can meet whomever you want. Who's that gonna be for you?
Actually, this might be a throw off, but Ed Reed, that's somebody actually I want to meet. I feel like he's somebody that I look up to at safety and as a person. So that's yeah, I'll go Ed Reed.
Who is that again?
Ed Reed,
Oh,
safety.
Ed Reed. Okay, I didn't get it.
Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, dude, Ed Reed, one of the best to ever do it.
Yeah.
So, certainly,
Mhm.
somebody to admire for sure. Who are you
Mhm.
looking at right now in the league? I mean, is there a guy that you think who do you think's the best in the league right now at that position?
Minka or dude from the 49ers, Tawafunga, or I can't pronounce his last name. You know what I'm talking about? He went to USC, follows Troy Polamalu and stuff. I think he was 29. I say him or Fitzpatrick probably the best right now in the league.
Cool, cool. Appreciate that. Just kind of wanted to ask a few other questions just for fun. So, and I'm sure there's tons more that people can learn about you.
Mhm.
You big social media guy? Can people follow you on social media?
Yeah, for sure. People can follow me on social media. Not extremely active on there, but I have Twitter and Instagram. So they can follow me on there.
Okay. Is it just simple Brent Jackson? What's your handle?
I think it's what Brent Jackson underscore 21.
Okay. Well, certainly somebody to follow, this upcoming season. So, Brent, why don't you close us out? It's been, nice chit chatting with you, but close us out by talking to all those scouts out there that I know that you're going to impress this season. and tell them why you would make a great addition to their franchise. So go ahead and speak to them directly now.
I believe that I'd be a great addition to our franchise because I am one of the hardest working people you'll ever meet. And I believe that adding me to your team will ultimately elevate your locker room, help it bring it to the next level.
Cool. Well, Brent, do wish you all the best this upcoming season and everything else you got going on. All right.
I truly appreciate it. Thank you.
No problem. Brent Jackson, safety, Rhode Island. Check this guy out.